I'm Brian Anderson. With Stan Van Gundy and Hall of Famer Grant Hill, Allie LaForce will be reporting from the sidelines. And it's the Grizzlies to start it out. And here's Morant. Pass to Edey. Tipped away. And here's the fast break.
A skilled defender. You got to be careful around Daniels or he will make you pay for it.
And you watch Dyson Daniels on the floor, Coach. He's everywhere on defense.
Yeah, Brian, he's one of the best guys disrupting offenses and getting deflections. He gets his hands in passing lanes. Effort like that will always find minutes.
Back to Young. And up the court come the Grizzlies on the break.
Great recognition. Understanding that that one is all him.
Yeah, beating everyone up the floor and finishes off the break.
To the paint. Here's Adebayo. And Adebayo slams it in.
Well, that's textbook pick-and-roll basketball. Adebayo just taking what the defense gives him. Well, that's just a careless pass. He's lucky that was just deflected and not picked off.
First quarter, just over a minute played. Pass to Pippen. Back to Morant. Here's Christie. The three. Rebounded by Pippen. Edey for three. Adebayo grabs the board. Here's Atlanta with the ball. Left side Young. Here's Johnson. Adebayo sets a screen. Young. Again, Atlanta.
Well, Young saw how the defense was going to play the pick and roll, and that was all he needed to create a score for himself.
Now here's Morant. Continuing to put up the points, averaging 14 per game. Pass to Bane. Clock at 4. Here's Edey. Well, there's the shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over.
Just a great play on D to throw him off the shot and force a turnover.
Now, if you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Here's Young. And it's good as he snugs it right through the net.
And so shifty with great handles. Young gets the defender to commit, then takes full advantage.
Here's Morant. Oh, there's Morant with the slam.
Hey, when in doubt, run the defender off the screen.
And you know, with a result like that, we'll see them run it again.
Yeah, defensive breakdown there. Gotta communicate and switch that screen.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
Grizzlies great Marc Gasol last season retiring from basketball. He embraced the city of Memphis. He said, quote, "I think a player has to feel that it's their city and they have to fight for it. You play with a different mindset when you do that." To me, winning was the most important thing.
And they did a lot of winning, Allie. Here's Pippen following the score by Atlanta. Inside. And he slams it in one-handed.
He just rises up and throws it down hard with one hand.
That is such a go-to move for him. He holds nothing back on those. Now here's Young. 6 points for him. Soft touch off the glass. Young's got 8. Uh-oh, now it looks like we've got an injury here, guys. We'll likely see him come out of the game.
And you guys know that this is something every player worries about, no matter your age or your ability.
Yeah, teams do everything they can to protect against it, but at this point, all you can do is hope he's not gone for too long.
And we've got a whistle. He was fouling with a purpose. And in that spot, in that situation, it's got to be a transition take foul. Well, Grant, aside from making the East Finals in 2021, how would you assess Trae Young's teams?
Well, they're always solid offensive teams. But Trae is the type of player that you need to surround with defensive-minded guys, and he hasn't really had that.
That's a nice setup by Young. He reads the floor so well.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from here for the Hawks.
Well, you know, the analytics guys would tell you a team shouldn't be taking this many mid-range shots, but clearly they're shooting them with confidence.
And not only that, you like how they're turning defense into offense, forcing turnovers and capitalizing.
Here's Johnson. Oh, and he blocks it off the glass. Wow. Out of bounds as Memphis keeps possession. .44 seconds left in the first. Pass to Edey. Launches it. Fires in the triple. Edey's gotten his second bucket.
What a passer Bane has become.
The Hawks lead by 3. Outside Young. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation there on the defense. He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game. And he shows the focus there. Nails the tee.
Well, guys, what I love about Young is you cannot break his will. Great mental and emotional toughness.
Pass to Riza Shea. Here's Daniels. 5 to shoot. It's stolen away. Morant into the lane. Oh, he misses the dunk. On the push, here comes Atlanta. The baseline J is on the way. Christie's shot is off. A big-time effort for Trae Young, providing a lot of energy for the Atlanta Hawks. He put together 10 points in the quarter. We'll be back in a moment. If you're just joining us, we played through one quarter in this one. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen from Atlanta?
You know, they've been relentless in how they attack the paint.
Well, if they're going to be that ferocious inside, this defense is in for a long night.
Back to Daniels. Out left to the wing. Young from long range. Memphis with a rebound.
And the shooter had very little space on that attempt.
There's no air space there whatsoever. That's as close as you can get without foul.
Here's Daniels. The kick out to Young. There's the 3. From downtown. Young with the signature Trae.
And we've begun to see their three-point shooting slip a little this quarter.
Stan, certain NBA teams take on the identity of their home. Like the Grizzlies, for example. They call Memphis Grind City.
Well, Brian, I think it's a perfect fit. Hard-working people in a hard-working city, and they want a hard-working team.
He's been a steady presence for them. Nice to have that kind of safety net at the offensive end.
Jackson drawing the double team. Pass to Pippen. Yes, and a nice assist from Jackson. Pippen's got 5.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
Yeah, defensively, if you come off someone, Young will find him.
Here's Morant. Here's Edey. Cuts off the pass. Young on the drive. He gets it. He's 7 for 8 and really going at him out there.
I just love the ball move.
Pass to Morant. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. Got a hand on it. It's a one-on-one situation. Here's Daniels. Three-pointer off the mark. Timeout called. The Grizzlies. Stan, you're the son of a coach. Your dad was a great coach at the collegiate level. What was the best advice you ever received from him?
Well, Brian, the one that has always stuck with me is he told me in my first season, if you think you've got all the answers, it's only because you don't know all the questions. And I think that's true in everything, not just basketball.
So both teams changing it up here.
Substitution on the court.
Grizzlies trail by 12. Here's Pippen. Kennard on the wing. From behind the arc. Gets the three ball to go.
Well, give Kennard room at the arc and he will quickly live up to his reputation as a shooter.
Pass to Johnson. Here's Rizachet. Back to Johnson. The three is up. Huff pulls it in. Jackson for three. Rebounded by Johnson. The Hawks lead by 9. Gives us a chance to catch up with Allie LaForce.
Hey, Brian. Jalen Johnson is developing the complete game. He said, I watch the guys who do everything. That's my mindset. I want to be at least solid in every department. And then keep building on that, adding bits and pieces here and there. Brian, his versatility is already drawing attention league-wide.
Yeah, there's no question about that, Allie. Thank you. Here's Bufkin. And here's LeVert for three. Gets the three to fall. LeVert's gotten himself going with a triple. His first basket of the game. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed here in the second quarter. Jackson outside. Puts up a three. Can't get it to go. Missed his first one. Atlanta with the ball. They've only given up 6 here in this quarter. Next up, they'll face the Nuggets in Denver. They're getting into the back half of a 4-game road trip.
And their transition offense triggering this run.
And out on the wings, Zach Rizachet has so many things scouts are looking for these days.
Yeah, B.A., this guy has tremendous potential as a two-way threat. Great length, good athleticism, and his jump shot could be elite.
Personal foul. First team foul.
Outside Johnson. From the top of the key. Again, Atlanta.
They're really dictating the tempo on both ends of the court. You love it.
Absolutely. They're playing their game and executing at a real high level. Everything is working for them right now.
Sinks the tray.
That's inexcusable defense right there. You gotta contest the shot better than that.
And so it's Quinn Snyder here calling timeout. He wants to give him a breather and talk things over.
Grizzlies,
46 seconds left in the half. Young on the attack. And here's LeVert for three. He buries it from three. LeVert's got 6 in the quarter.
That's a big make for LeVert. Should help his confidence.
Here's Pippen. Pass to Huff. Tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Here's Daniels. And he makes no mistake. Slam dunk.
And leaking out well in transition. I mean, I like seeing Daniels get rewarded for hustling.
Kennard outside. Drills it from deep. Kennard's got his second basket of the night. Now Young. He's got 18. 1 second left.
The second chance points are all about a lack of effort defensively. Those buckets would drive me nuts.
And so it's the Atlanta Hawks, a sizable 18-point lead at the end of the period. Boy, they've been playing at a fast pace, beating the defense in transition and adding to that big lead. All right, we'll get back to the action after this break. And with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. And so it's Young with it. He brings it up for Atlanta. All right, a chance to check in on Bam Adebayo. What do you have, Allie?
I chatted briefly with the head athletic trainer for Atlanta. They told me it's a collapsed lung, a serious situation, and we're all hoping that he's okay. Everything that I'm hearing points to this being a long-term issue. Obviously, he and the team are extremely frustrated right now.
All right, Allie, good stuff there. Always on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Even with the advancements in strength training, injuries continue to impact the game.
Well, this is a high-impact sport, and the league continues to get bigger and faster.
Grizzlies trail by 16. Coach, when you talk about the Atlanta Hawks, you got to start with Trae Young.
One of the most exciting players to watch in the NBA, Brian. He can shoot the ball from anywhere on the floor. He's a great ball handler and one of the most creative passers in the game.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
And it's Morant missing.
And they're +5 on the boards after that rebound.
Pass to Risacher. All alone. Boy, clanks that one off the back iron and it falls. Risacher's got 8.
And I love how he's pushing the tempo and creating for others. He does this game in and game out. Incredible.
Yeah, when you're moving the ball like that, it just keeps everyone engaged in the game.
The way Morant sets up his teammates is as good as any guard in this league.
They've got the offense clicking. 3 for 4 to start the half and looking confident.
Here's Pippen. 7 points in the game. Outside Morant. Lets it go from deep. The rebound by Atlanta.
Not his best night and not the team's best night. Sometimes it just goes that way.
They get it back. Pass to Christie. Back to Young. Down to 5 on the shot clock. No good with the triple.
And he almost made them regret defending him so loosely.
Now here's Jackson. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
When you're trying to cut into a lead, you can't afford that kind of mistake.
Yeah, that's just a lack of focus. Plays like that can really frustrate a coaching staff.
Pass to Daniels. That one's good, and it's Young with the assist.
3 points.
12 points for him.
Oh, good shot from Daniels. He understands he needs to keep knocking these down for his team.
Here's Edey. Outside Morant. Takes it inside. And then Morant with the dunk.
Hey, when in doubt, run the defender off the screen.
And you know, with a result like that, we'll see them run it again.
Yeah, defensive breakdown there. Gotta communicate and switch that screen.
Here's Christie. And the Hawks with another 3. Stan, you've coached some great defensive anchors in your time. Who do you view as the best in the game today?
Well, Brian, you probably have to start with Rudy Gobert, but we've got guys like Brook Lopez, Jaren Jackson, Anthony Davis, and then we've got 2 young ones coming up that could be as good as we've seen in Wemby and Chet Holmgren.
To the middle. Here's Johnson. The kick out to Young. Here's Daniels. Pass to Christie. Young looking around. Shoots over Morant. Outside Johnson. And the Hawks with another 3.
You have to credit their effort. I mean, they've done an amazing job on the glass.
52 seconds left to play in the third quarter of basketball. To the inside. Edey. And he jams grabs it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Well, Morant knows his teammates rely on him to find them. Terrific pass right there.
Up top, Young. He's got 18.
Putting that pass right in his stride. Didn't have to slow up and was able to complete the play.
And it goes out of bounds. That one off Johnson.
Coming onto the floor for your Grizzlies, number 8, Jay Huff.
Hawks on D. Fires the three. Knocks down the long J. Huff's got his first 3 points of the game.
Well, look, that's the matchup he wants there. Using his height to shoot that three right over the top.
Both teams deciding to change it up.
First team foul. Substitution on the court.
There's 18 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Young. And a foul called on the way up. So he'll take 2 from the free throw line. Ja Morant picks one up.
Yeah, the defense is right to challenge Young inside, but he's a persistent guy.
11 seconds left in the third. Pass to Morant. And the layup is good off the glass. Morant's got 9.
Well, credit the screen there, stringing him loose for the finish.
At the end of the third quarter, a huge lead. This one may have already been decided. Hawks ahead, running away with this one. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in a moment. And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same for the first 3 quarters. Here's Morant. Well, Grant, in terms of scheduling, you see any way to eliminate back-to-backs?
You know, I'm not a big fan of eliminating back-to-backs, but to answer your question, BA, you have 2 choices. Either fewer regular season games or extend the season by a few weeks. I don't think either one of those options is in our future.
There's Young with the 3. And count it. 8 of 14 now. He's rolling.
Wow, 5 consecutive threes. This defense looking very frustrated right now.
Jackson on the wing. Lets it fly. And a great assist by Morant as that one goes. Jackson's got his first 2 points of the night.
Among the best passers in the league, Morant finds open teammates.
It's stolen. Jack's up a 3. Buries it from 3.
The defense gave him a little space, and he took advantage.
Screen by Lively. Down low. And a slam dunk by Lively.
And Young isn't just a scorer. He also takes pleasure in creating opportunities for others.
Here's Morant. Lively grabs a miss.
That's not a bad shot at all. It just didn't go in. Sometimes the process is right, and you still get a bad result.
Back to Young. The 17-footer. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right iron. Young's got 5 points now this quarter.
Well, he is such a confident shooter. Young just taking what the defense gives him there.
Here's Morant. Morant with the slam!
Yeah, Morant's got to get himself in that dunk contest. I mean, look at that.
You know, Grant, we've seen career performances in the play-in tournament, but the stats don't count for regular season or the playoffs.
You know, that's crazy, BA. So let's just count them as playoff stats. It used to be only 3 rounds instead of 4, so there is a precedent to adding more games to the official postseason.
Well, after dropping in 2 triples in the first half, he's now matched that mark here in the second half, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more of those.
Here's Daniels. Flushes it down to finish the break.
And Daniels makes sure to capitalize on that easy scoring opportunity.
Morant surveying the floor. Six to shoot. Here's Huff. Deflected. Right side, Young. Outside for LeVert. Pass to Young. Over Bane. Young misses.
Well, that wasn't a bad shot. Defense playing a little loose there. Sometimes it just doesn't go in.
With the drive, it's Martin on the wing. And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
Yeah, when you look at Trae Young's career numbers, he's got one of the highest assist averages ever.
The three from Bane. And another miss by Memphis.
And this is exactly who you want taking that shot. He just missed it.
Well, you look at the so-called super teams that have been assembled in recent years. A lot of cautionary tales.
Yeah, I mean, teams giving up their draft picks for the better part of a decade to bring in a star. It can get ugly really fast if things don't work out.
We played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Here's Atlanta with the ball. They're on an 11-2 run.
And what a complete performance we saw from them. A dominant win in every way for the Hawks.
And it was a big-time performance across the board. They looked like they were having fun out there, Graham.
Yeah, B.A., it was almost like watching a cat play with a mouse. I mean, they did pretty much anything they wanted to do out there today.
And with this win, they've tallied up a total of 6 wins on the year.
And against a familiar opponent, it's nice to establish a psychological advantage with a win in the first game.
And when you look at the game, the one thing that helped fuel this team to victory was the efficiency for Trae Young.
Well, he was the reliable option for them on just about every possession. So dependable, always making the right decision.
Plenty of space. And that's good for 2. Young's got 33.
This is what winning is all about. Playing your best when it matters most.
Yeah, they've got clutch guys on this team, and they never let up.
And that one's good. Morant.
Well, this kind of performance from Morant doesn't surprise anyone. He can score with the best of them.
It's stolen by Johnson. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock and the game clock. Inside. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
Yeah, they blocked out the noise, blocked out the distractions, kept on grinding, and this is their reward.
It is always a special feeling winning on the road. The degree of difficulty adding to that sense of accomplishment.
That jumper is pure. Jackson with great touch for a big man. Set him up, let him knock him down.
And so it's Atlanta easily grabbing this one. This one wasn't even close. The hometown crowd was waiting for a miracle that never came.
Yeah, and this team was consistent throughout. They met every challenge, and they earned this dub.
Thank you for joining.